Hi everyone, this is Balázs from RacingBrick. Happy New Year folks! This is my third review from the January 2024 Technic wave. Today's subject is the 42168 John Deere 9700 Forage Harvester. On the front of the box you see the machine in a field, on the back there is a different perspective and then an explanation of the main functions. Let's open the box. The set has 559 pieces and it is officially available from the 1st of January. It costs $40 or 43 euros and you can find the links to the official page in the usual places to check your local prices. We get 4 numbered bags, an unnumbered one with the tires and rims, the manual and a rather small sticker sheet. As this is a 9+ set, we don't get any additional information despite the branding, but we can see the functions demonstrated again at the end, and there's a photo for comparison about the real thing. We'll come back to this later. Here's the parts list. Now let's start building. Here is the base after a few steps. These will hold the rear wheels, and here's the steering rack. The next step uses a brand new part, which is a 3x2 modified lift arm with a center pinhole on the longer side. It seems to be quite specific. I really wonder how it will be used in the future. Here they are mounted on the side of the assembly and there's also one on top. Here comes the hand-of-God steering mechanism. These parts slide in there and they get fixed by these at the back. This is how our steering will work, simple but effective. Added the first stickers. This is going to be the back end of the vehicle. We got a lot of stacked curved pieces here, and as you see, the green background of the stickers still don't match the color of the pieces, unfortunately. This is how we joined the two assemblies built so far. The auger or spout, choose the one you prefer, so this thing is built entirely from system bricks and, spoiler alert, it doesn't really look like the real thing. More details are added with system bricks, and here comes the hand-of-God steering knob. The instructions suggest we test the steering. Yep, it works. Bag 2 starts with another surprisingly large system assembly that includes the fender piece and covers the side of the vehicle. It is attached to 5 red half pins and seems secure enough, although you can pull it off with some effort. We will see how sturdy it is for play. Also, make sure you follow the instructions and position the piece correctly. There should be a small section of the black beam visible at both ends and the mudguard should be centered to the wheel. Here comes the front of the chassis with some offset pieces using half beams and half pins. This is how it is attached to the main assembly and then secured with more pins, although it's a bit tricky to get these aligned correctly. Oh, I made a mistake. This one was supposed to be here and now I can attach this beam properly. This is our build at the end of bag 2. The next phase begins with the tricky assembly. Pay attention to the alignment of the gears. The wheels should drive the gear on top. The tires on the half bushes will actually drive the gears of the harvesting unit. The structure is becoming much larger. We start adding the gears, then these claw parts, new in yellow, and the surprising recolor of the 28-tooth gear that was previously only available in light bluish gray. As I mentioned in my Technic interview last month, recoloring of color-coded functional pieces is rare in the Technic world. Obviously, this machine needed these gears in yellow, and we get 6 of them. Here's another gear to connect everything to the driving wheels. That's how the system will work. Adding a few more pieces, such as these differential gears or the whips, and now it's time to mount the whole unit on the chassis. End of bag 3. We start adding the details of the cabin section, then comes this assembly that will be responsible for the height adjustment of the harvesting unit. The cockpit is completely built using system elements. We have a minifix scale seat and steering wheel, a control panel, and a tiny 1x1 sticker that is a pain to attach. Here's the roof, then we continue building the cabin. The rearview mirrors are added, even more system accents on the sides, and also here at the back. Now all that remains is to fit the wheels and we are done. So, here is our finished build. It has the typical John Deere colors, looks like a harvester, and has a lot of details here and there. The hand-of-God function works pretty well and the turning radius is impressively small. The header elevation function works with this knob on the side. It's super simple yet efficient. In this position, the small driving wheels don't touch the ground, in the lower position they do, and the gears at the front rotate. I don't know if it's a feature, but this part of the engine cover can be opened. There is no engine inside, and actually the side should be able to be opened, not this section. The spout can be adjusted manually. There is also a simple hitch, and the harvester can pull the trailer from last year's John Deere tractor set. This is how they look side by side, and we can also add the skidder, although this one is much larger. Thanks to the matching seat and steering wheel, you can easily add the LEGO minifigure as a driver, which is a nice bonus. So, if you like what you've seen so far, you can already buy the set in the first few days with more than 20% off in some European stores, as low as 32 euros. For that price, I think it's a great parts pack, a nice build and a playable set for kids. If you have no further expectations and you are interested in this kind of machines, then I recommend you to buy the set, enjoy the build and probably stop watching the video right now. So, this section is for the people who have higher expectations even for an 8+ Technic set. After the reveal, I have seen some heated debates about this harvester as people criticize the look and lack of accuracy. Now, looking at this photo in the manual, we can agree that the resemblance is a little vague. The grille is missing at the rear, the tires are wrong and the spout is way too short. The lack of stickers here is kind of understandable, it would look weird as they would have to be sliced up to cover that area, and also such a curved surface wouldn't get a sticker. It could have been a print of course, but I guess that didn't fit in the budget. Then the tires. At first sight, the tractor tires from the other John Deere set should work, but they do touch the pieces above, so it's definitely not a simple swap. Moving the axle down might mess up the proportions, and at this scale a one module shift is already significant. I think the other reason for these tires is the lack of tractor tires in the smaller scale. If the larger ones are okay, then the smaller ones would still be there to complain about. The length of the spout is interesting. I can't find any simple reasons for that size. It should be able to reach the trailer if you drive next to it with the tractor. Then there's the problem with the harvesting unit. The gears all turn in the same direction, but in reality they would supposed to turn towards the center. This can be fixed simply by swapping gears or adding a few pieces, especially not at this scale. I'm sure experienced builders will find working solutions, but that doesn't seem to have met LEGO's requirements for sets aimed at kids. A funny detail about the trailer hitch: since the axle with stop is not secured in place, I thought it would fall out easily, but it doesn't. As for the surprising amount of system pieces used, I think they work really well to add more detail to the build, and they are more sturdy than I thought they would be. The one that is probably the easiest to knock off is the interior of the cabin when you are trying to put a minifigure on the seat. So, is it a scale model of a John Deere 9700 harvester? Absolutely not. If that's what you are looking for, you will have better luck with the diecast version. It's a small buildable toy for kids with some cool features. Do we usually get accurate scale models in the Technic team in this price range? Well, I don't think so. The need for branding in this case is debatable, but since they had the John Deere license, I guess they wanted to use it. The machine would have required a completely different color scheme for a generic version. I think this is a nice set for kids. It's far from perfect, but considering the price and the amount of parts you get for it, it's a good build. Please let me know what you think of it in the comments. If you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe with notifications because more exciting LEGO videos are coming soon. See you next time, bye bye.